what is going on? Where are we?
Listen, this is probably one of the wildest places I've ever been in my life. This is the Springbokvlakte, a place where millions of springbok once flowed like a river across the plains, chasing the rain, turning dust into life, and shaping the land in a cycle older than memory. But today, that movement is gone. Fences, farms, and decades of mismanagement have left the soil fragile and the land in trouble. We came here to meet a family that's trying to change this. We're now in Bucklands. We learn a little bit about how the springbok used to come through here. That's why it's called the Springbokvlakte. It's because this used to be a huge plain where, you would go days and wake up and the springbok would still be there walking.
Okay. What we can do is, I'll show you the overriver and then come back via this road. In my grandfather's time, 100 years ago, the herd took about 8 days to pass him. Those herds were programmed to follow the rain, so they would eat until there's nothing, and then they would run miles and miles to after another rainstorm.
This is Hannes Horn. His family has farmed this land for generations. He grew up hearing stories of springbok moving across these plains in their millions.
The springbok came after rains, eat and go. At the moment they cannot do it at all because there's fences and there's no more big herds. The government subsidized the farmers to kill these herds because they had to make a place for sheep. And then they would put sheep in a farm inside, in a fenced farm. It couldn't migrate anywhere, it couldn't move much. And they would eat and never rest the place. Later on we decided, or they learned that you've got to rest because you're destroying your own farm and you'll have nothing for your kids.
The Vlakte lost its natural engineers, the springbok. When the fences went up, movement stopped, grazing patterns collapsed, vegetation disappeared, and the soil was left exposed. Hannes is working on a simple technique that might help bring it back.
What happened here is there's a reservoir here, and so all the sheep came to drink, and then they overgrazed this area. So now it's empty and flat, and it's quite hard and harsh, and for new plants to come up here is just impossible. So what Donnie now does, we call this ponding. The idea is that the water, it's all sloping downwards, so the water will come from there and be captured here, and the water that goes past will be captured in that one. And that water stays here, doesn't run off. And because of that, the soil moisture is restored, and new plants can grow there. Yeah, his mind is right and he's tough. This for him is like a gym. Other guys go to the gym. He don't care about building muscles. He care about building new landscapes and get all the exercise in the process.
Hannes is talking about his son Donnie, and he wants to take us out to see how he's moving livestock across the land, trying to emulate the springbok migrations of old.
Hi there, my darling. This is technically my third year farming on the farm, but I grew up here. So, I've climbed these hills lots of times. So in this area, springbok was the animals that usually migrated through these areas. And they would trample up the ground and they would dung on it exactly like you would see here. And so we are doing the same thing, but with domesticated livestock. So I have them here for short periods of time. I have the shepherd mix them throughout the camp so they don't stick to certain spots. And then I move out of the camp and I rest for a long time, like up to a year.
We are in the Springbokvlakte. We are inside a kraal with some sheep and some goats. and we're going to try and catch one of them. They get rocks and sticks and ticks stuck on them as they're walking through and along the hills.
Yeah.
Oh! I had him!
Okay, now what do I do?
Yeah, there you go. Now you put the front legs up so it sits on its rear end. That's it. But
And you
can
chilling.
catch
Do you
it.
relax scaling?
The general idea is that we're not farming with sheep. My dad used to tell me I'm farming with Karoo bush, not with sheep. But now we've learned that we're farming with what is underneath the ground, the soil microbes. And they look after the Karoo bush look after the sheep look after us. So the whole line of life is involved in sheep farming.
It'll take quite a while, maybe even a couple of generations to get it back to exactly the way it was. But I mean, it's the first steps need to be taken. And so I probably won't get to see it like that, but maybe my grandchildren or something will.
What is going on? Where are we?
Listen, I mean, this is probably one of the wildest places I've ever been in my life. Kuyenda, I'm so proud of her. She's just taken us on a wild journey. And if you just have a look just beyond me here, there's this huge ravine. Donnie has just brought us to, and we're going to be camping out there tonight. So I think we're parking here, but do yourself a favor, step out of this car and just look where we're going.
Okay, we're gonna walk into the Groot Rivierspoort now. And it's a beautiful hike on a little footpath. And now if you got any questions about any plants, anything, love to answer about plants, yeah. So let's go.
That's sweet.
How's this?
Oh my goodness.
Are we sleeping in a cave tonight? The Keystones Expedition. Why? No other reason other than to experience being outdoors in a beautiful place.
What are the feelings of being in a cave?
It's an interesting feeling. I find myself, yeah, I mean, like, look how close rock. look how close the rock is, bro. How does it make me feel? It makes me feel pretty stoked, to be honest. I mean, it's just crazy to be underneath a mountain of rock right now. I'm literally underneath a mountain of rock. But in terms of being on Keystones Expedition in a cave, I mean, I just couldn't ask for something better. Hear the sound of all the people that have joined us on this trip. It's just epic.
It's a rarity we get to sit in spaces like this.
It's not knowing exactly what you're dealing with, not understanding the delicate balance of nature. And over here we're sitting in the delicate balance of nature. This is what it looks like in balance. And I guess we won't be able to ever get the balance back again outside of the poort where we are working and we're interfering with on a daily basis. But at least we can come look here at what it's supposed to look like. Here we can come see, okay, right, I'm looking over the mountain, but I can't see any soil. It's just vegetation. That's what it's supposed to look like. It's cool. It's a good example. Yeah.
As we leave the Springbokvlakte, we find ourselves reflecting on the time we've spent here. Sleeping in caves, walking the land, learning from Donnie and Hannes. And listening, not just to people, but to the land itself. Being here, experiencing things as they are, not as we think they should be, has shaped the way the story was told. Since our last visit, the land has changed. The ponding has slowed the water. Life has started to return. Camera traps show species moving back into these spaces, quietly on their own terms. It's a reminder that restoration isn't just ecological, it's deeply human, creating work, building connection, and re-anchoring people to the places they depend on. Donnie spoke about wild places as teachers, places that show us what balance can look like. This journey has been about paying attention, about movement, corridors, and learning how to live alongside the land rather than just over it. We hope this story encourages you to look more closely at the landscapes you move through, to notice change, and to care. Because when we choose to pay attention, we all have the chance to become keystone species.